Hello everyone and welcome to another How Good Is. Today we're going to talk about how good is 9 MP regeneration per turn. Is anyone playing this character for something else? Oh wait, she actually has discs and she has a personal and she is a character. Like, oh okay, I might need to take a step back. I might have already talked about the conclusion of this entire video and like the only thing that actually matters with this character. But hey, look at that, he's Hotaru. She's cute. She's very cute. She's drawn by Tiff, who hasn't actually drawn any other character in the game yet, so they brought in someone completely new for this, which is something that is, I guess, just generally happening across the anime landscape, that a lot of other people are being brought in to like draw one-off characters. Anyway, the point is, she's a heal type with some discs that don't really matter at all. I mean, the only part that really matters is she has 2 Excel lists. 3 Excel lists would have been better. She has a personal, which, I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. If you're in a quest that has a lot of debuffs cast on your team, it's alright. The attack up doesn't matter at all. Her attack is absolutely abysmal. Why would you want to raise that attack? I'm not quite sure. She's never going to actually deal damage, no matter what you do. So, at least it's still like anti-debuff 2 times, maybe. It's actually not a good personal. You probably want to use an active memorial that has something like MP up or XL MP up, or just some way of increasing the MP you gain, specifically like a straight MP up. And I need to tell you guys, there's a difference between XL MP gain up and MP gain up. Most people already know this, but XL MP gain up, of course, only increases the MP you get from XL discs, while straight up MP gain up increases all the MP that you get. And this is actually very important for this character, because all of this character is going to come down to MP gain up. Let's move on. So her stats don't really matter too much. Like, yeah, her connect heals and as attacker, yeah, come on, none of this matters. Let's skip over Magia and move to other stuff that doesn't matter. So she has a bunch of passives. The only interesting bit is that she has anti-debuff passive. So the very first debuff that is cast on Hotaru in any battle gets nullified. She has some stealth aim resistance as well, so she also tries to like counteract some stealth aimants, which a lot of heal characters have. So a little bit of defense up, a little bit of regeneration, some force attribute damage cut, just to stay alive, right? We're gonna just try to stay alive. And speaking about staying alive, we're gonna stay alive with this HP restore active, which also gives attack down to self. So it's actually a debuff on yourself that you do. However, since you do have an anti-debuff shield at least once, if you use this before, or if you use this while you still have the shield up, then of course that debuff is going to get absorbed by the debuff shield, and you don't actually get the attack down. On the other hand, it's just 15%, and this is on a character that doesn't actually attack much anyway, because she has a low attack and she's a heal type. I don't know why you would want to attack with her anyway, like actually attack as in dealing damage with discs with this character. So the attack down, it doesn't really matter if you get the attack down or not, but it heals you to full, which is the important part. That's something that we want, to not die. So now let's actually get to the only thing that really matters in this. Oh, look at that, it regenerate MP and HP, but whatever. So it regenerates MP, which is something that only very, very few characters in this entire game actually have. So if we look at the page for Generate MP, we scroll down to Magia and we see, oh, Jun does it to self, so that doesn't really count. And then Mayu gives it to everyone, and Hotaru gives it to everyone. It looks a bit weird here, it has allies here and all there, but it doesn't give it to enemies, it only gives it to your side of the team, okay? This might as well say allies, the wiki is not always actually consistent. Anyway, point is, she's not only the second character after Mayu that actually gives MP regeneration to every single character. Now the MP regeneration of course also increases with the scaling, so if you have a higher Magia level, it will scale up a little bit. So on Magia level 5, and nowadays if you have an account that's older than like 2 weeks, you should be able to get every single character that you're actually actively using in battle to have Magia level 5, or at least 4. Come on, with the recent changes that have been made with the anniversary, like on the anniversary changed a whole lot of things about the new player experience. Nowadays, new players get new stuff really, really fast. They've really increased the rate at which new players are able to get new stuff. So you should be able to get them to higher Magia level right away. So at Magic level 5, this gives a 9 MP to all allies. And here's where the important part comes in with the MP gain up. Every character, when they gain that 9 MP every turn for 3 turns, that 9 MP gets multiplied with their own MP generation. This is something that is also worth noting. Every character for themselves has their own MP gain up count. So you might have some characters that have a lot of MP gain up, and you might have some characters that don't have any MP gain up, and they will all get different amounts of MP from this Magia right here. So in the best layout that you might want to have on your team, you might have 5 characters, and each one of those characters, like one of them is Hotaru, and each one of those characters would have a lot of MP gain up memoria, right? As many MP gain up memoria as you want on all of your characters. Even active would also help you if they were like active memoria. Now let's actually do some maths here. So we have a Magia that of course costs 100 MP. It restores 9 MP to all allies for 3 turns, which is a total of course like 3 times 9 is like 27. So 27 to every single character. How much is that? Well, I've done some maths, and what it comes down to is a total, if you're running a 5-person team, of 135 MP across 5 people. Which means that you're spending 100 MP to gain 135 MP, which is a net gain of 135 MP. However, keep in mind that every single character, of course, has their own MP regeneration bonus coming in. So every MP up that every character has increases this a little bit. And the important part is that the MP that Hotaru herself spends doesn't really matter that much. Her Magia doesn't do much, but if you have like a damage shield, let's say for example you have a swimsuit mummy on the team, or since it was already announced, you have a Kush on the team, and you're just pumping MP into that damage dealer, that's a lot more worth out of every single point of MP that you're getting, instead of that 1 point of MP being on a character like Hotaru, who just heals and gives a bit of MP. So you're able to pump your MP into the characters that actually need it. And the thing about this is that people have been playing Kimochi basically like this. So the last few Magia-based Kimochi have been working with people using Mayu, with people using Madoka. They've used both Madoka and Mayu on the team. Both Madoka and Mayu, they keep spamming their Magias, not doubled. And this is the interesting bit. A lot of high-ranking whales, like super hyper whales, have actually not doubled Madoka or Mayu. They actually haven't unlocked, rather, the doppel for either of these 2 characters. Why? Because they want those 2 characters to use their Magia for MP restore. Now the MP restore doesn't actually increase that much from Magia to doppel. So if you just want the highest MP game possible, it's actually better not to unlock doppel on either Madoka or Mayu, and instead just keep having them pump out Magias really fast, multiple of them in a row, so you can keep up the MP regeneration. Now, if you're watching this and you have either Madoka or Mayu and you have unlocked doppel for these 2 characters, it doesn't matter. We're talking about Hyper Whale 0. Like the absolute top strategies, like the top 10 strategies in the game. If you're watching this video, you're probably not one of those 10 people, because those 10 people that I'm talking about are Japanese people who don't even speak English. So this is not going to be relevant to you, okay? I'm just saying that what most people that like play this for top 10 rankings actually do is they use as many of these Magias as possible, so they can get the most amount of MP gain as possible. And I've done the same maths that I've just done with Hotaru as well for Mayu and for Madoka. So Hotaru once again gives 135 total MP, 400 MP. Mayu, on the other hand, gives a total of 180 MP for an investment of 100 MP. So you're almost doubling your MP by just putting that in. I mean, with the MP gain up bonuses that your team probably has, you will double your MP that you've just spent. So you throw 100 MP into the blender to get 200 MP back. That's pretty darn good. And Madoka, with her Magia, she also gets some MP restore. She gets a total of 157.5 MP restore across 5 people. Of course, once again, it's going to be more with the MP restore bonuses, like the MP up bonuses. And I haven't put it in here yet, but Madoka and Iro have the dual unit. Once they double, sadly not, it's not on Magia, but once they double, they also give a bunch of MP restore, which is really good. So there are now multiple choices of using your MP restore Magias. But back to Hotaru. Back to Hotaru. The important part of all of what I've just said is that MP restore and MP regeneration, all of that stuff, is actually really, really good in Magia-focused Kimochi battles, right? In fact, it's so good in Magia-focused Kimochi battles that the top 10 wares that I've just talked about, they have entire Kimochi rounds, like 6 turns in a row, where they don't use a single non-Magia disc. We're talking not even a single Excel Blast or Excel or Charge disc. I also want to sell Excel twice because Excel is like the only thing that matters in that thread. Only Magia and double discs for 6 turns. That's how strong the Magia regeneration, the MP regeneration is on these characters if you play it correctly. Now, if you don't have a 4-slot Mayu, or if you don't have a 4-slot Madoka, or you only have them on lower slot and they don't really work that well because you can't give them MP gain Memoria, you can't give them Excel draw Memoria on top of that as well, something like that, you now have the option of getting Hotaru because she's a well-fed character. Everyone gets her if you're playing before the next event gets released. So I know this video is a bit late, but if you get her before the next 2 days or so are over, you'll be able to get her for free by just playing the event, which means I think you just play a bunch of normal stages. Like you go into your normal main story, you play a bunch of stages like Yachiyo Dojo or whatever, and you go into the shop with the stuff you get from the normal stages, and you just buy her for a handful of event currency, and there you go, and you've got this. How good is this though? Like I've just done you guys the math. It's a bit lower. Like you get less MP regeneration than Mayu does, than Madoka does. But that said, it's not that far behind. And if you have some really good MP up Memoria, you will actually end up with a whole bunch of MP, even though it doesn't sound like it's gonna be that much from the maths because it's only a surplus of like 35 MP. But keep in mind, like I said, you're funneling that MP into characters that actually need it to deal damage. You want to support your damage dealer as much as possible, and this does a really good job at that. So overall, Hotaru, 99% of her kit does absolutely fucking nothing, but the other 1% of her kit is the MP regeneration that Mayu has, and Mayu is one of the top 2 characters in Kimochi. Therefore, Hotaru is pretty darn good if you're a free-to-play character, a free-to-play person who wants to play a character like this in Kimochi. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that was that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.